You're watching a clip from Brewcast. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next section. This next section is all about women. Particularly, I wanted to start off the conversation with just a
Arachne.
who?
Arachne. That's what that character is.
Oh, so I
I've seen the anime, so.
I am severely lacking in my ability to watch anime, just because all the places I used to watch it, I don't use anymore. Like Crunchyroll, I don't use Crunchyroll anymore.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm lacking. So if anyone wants to help me find some animes to watch, please recommend some. So anyways, the post says, why do people like monster girls? What's wrong with regular ones? The person responded with, the monster is on the outside. Take it away, Brewer.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, what are the conversations we've been having about the 19th Amendment and all the other stuff? Yeah, it's just gotten to the point where, I mean, hell, you and I are both single, and I have no intention of dating ever again for the rest of my life, quite honestly. And it's because I just don't want to deal with the current mindset of the modern American woman. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but a lot of the ones I know are. I would say in this small town, it's pretty good. And the ones who actually do have a good head on their shoulders are already married. So if I
Yep.
start to date someone approximately around my age, or a little bit below, there's a reason why they're single. So it's just one of those. I don't have the chances of me actually being able to get married and actually have a fulfilling relationship with a woman approximately around my age, give or take. Let's say within 5 years below, because I'm not going to go up. Is very, 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 very small. And I'm a logical person, so I'm just playing by the statistics here.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I just like I'm not going to walk away if something does show up and I can make a determination at the time about it, but I'm not pursuing anything.
That's fair. Why do you think
But
someone would specifically point out that the monster, and this is drawing the distinction between an anime character and, like, say, you just gave us kind of how, your stance on a relationship, which is really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
um I like anime characters. I think anime girls are, cute. They're anime characters. They're fun characters. But what is it? What do you think that this person is trying to reference with saying the monster is on the outside when comparing a monster character who is a spider versus a real woman?
Um, Say that question again. Sorry, I didn't track for some reason.
Sure. If we compare the monster girl on screen, Arachnia,
Mhm.
with any real woman, but the question was, why do people like monster girls? And this person says, well, because the monster is on the outside.
It's on the outside. Yeah.
So
Well, it's just like how do I say this? They Well, one, it's not based in reality, or it is based in reality, but not maybe not based from the reality of the anime character. It's also a fantasy. It's also their idealized version of what a woman is. And by saying that the monster is on the outside, because all of the girls in the anime, and to kind of give you a quick background, I forget the name of the anime, but it's like Monster Musume or something like that. Basically, monsters have been acknowledged by the world. They're actually allowed to come out and be part of society, but human society. But in order to do that, to do a transition, like in Japan, they created a government institution that will actually assign these monsters to humanoid monsters to join families. And this one person who does it is extremely lazy, and so she just keeps assigning them all to this one dude. So it's a harem of monster girls. But they all have their unique individual personalities, but they're all very, good natured. There's even a Dullahan that joins, type of thing. So, but they all have good hearts. So when the guy is saying that the monster is on the outside is because you see the worst part of them, so to speak, and the worst part of them isn't bad. So all you have is the good heart behind it. So it is the, like pretty much the modern male fantasy is being able to look at a woman, see her for what she really is, and be able to actually, connect with the woman on a deeper level, which right now it just doesn't happen because of influence, because of how, indoctrination and upbringing and everything else. Not saying generally, but that's how a lot of men are viewing it. So that's kind of how I would interpret what this guy is saying here.
Interesting. So for me, what kind of stood out to me was kind of what you alluded to. Like, I don't care what you look like on the outside. And like
Hmm.
I saw this image of this really attractive blonde next to like an unmakeuped normal girl next door, Sydney Sweeney post. And it was like, which one would you pick? Well, everyone's picking Sydney Sweeney because everyone knows what the one on the right is usually going to bring. But it's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's on. I mean, it's truly about what's on the inside. The reason I like and I connect with anime characters and all that because they're pleasant to be around.
Yeah,
They're fun. They're
that's a
not.
good way of putting
They're
it.
not
Yeah.
demeaning me. They are just. They're enjoyable. They're not nagging at me. They're not yelling at me. They're not calling me names. Until we get into the VTuber sphere, and then we can talk about all that drama if we want to. That'll upset some people. Um,
Yeah.
but I think
I mean,
it's
that's an interesting point, though.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, okay. Well, I just mean like with regular women, you can be pretty, you can be put together, you can have all your stuff. You can look perfect. But then all of that stuff that may not be cool or that I might not be able to accept, I'm not even able to see to evaluate, but you're going to use that against me.
Yep.
It's like I would rather deal with what I am being presented with. So if you presented me with this spider character, right? I'd have to come to realization, okay, well, this is a spider. Let's also understand that this is not real, so this is fiction,
Yeah.
and fiction is not reality. Studies have shown. It's because men want more. Men have been said, oh, well, men don't listen to us, men don't communicate with us, they don't understand. No, men do understand. It's just you're making really stupid fucking points.
Yeah. I mean, there's like two different frameworks I can immediately construct here. Because you have the framework of course, men are right, men are logical, men throughout history up until the last, 60, 70 years have been the ones who've been making the decisions and been breadwinners, and the woman has been the nurturer, which is actually normal throughout the entirety of the mammalian animal kingdom,
It's worked for
with
thousands of
exceptions,
years.
thousands of years. And the moment that you begin to grant, women, I don't like to use that, but try to create an equality between man and woman is that women begin to want more and more, because even before, women were always wanting more, and
Women
the men would
deserve.
always tell them no.
It's because women
Yeah, they
deserve.
deserve it like that. So it's by allowing them to see themselves as equal. Again, this is a framework. They are still demanding more and more, but now males don't have the same power they did in order to tell the woman, no, we can't do this because it's not economically viable. No, we can't do this because it'll harm us. No, we can't do this and this for whatever reason, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that the women are seeing themselves as equal, they're continuing the trend.
Well, but
So
they're becoming men. They're acting like men. We're seeing this like the
yeah,
streamer stuff that happened, the sexual assault on stream, live on stream. A woman sexually assaults a person, live on stream on Twitch. No one says anything about it. Not really.
yeah, because it's a woman that's doing it, and it's within the culture of the society that women can't be. Oh, within the framework of the culture
You know
anyway,
what? You've
that women
convinced me.
can't be. Yeah.
You've convinced me. Men and women just aren't equal yet. That proves it right there.
Yeah. Well, there's a I've actually talked about this like in at the coffee shop that I go to from time to time, and I think this is one of the reasons why I get a lot of respect from some of the people there. I actually said that men and women are not equal, and the entire room looks at me. I go, they are equivalent. There's a difference. Men and women cannot do the exact same thing as each other. However, if you were to create a quantitative, like assign a numerical value to what is a man, to what is a woman, had the woman be a positive, the man be negative, it would equate to zero. It's a zero sum. Men and women are equivalent. So, and they are meant to work together to create a better whole versus try to be parallel to one another, because it doesn't work. Throughout the entirety of the mammalian animal kingdom, with exceptions, of course, they're the males have typically been the hunters, and the females have typically been the nurturers. I mean,
Except
there's
lions. People use
exactly.
lions as the example. Um,
Well, that's a counter example, but it's still not the core example. It's not the majority. It's not, how most of them act. It's just how that specific type of animal went for some reason. So,
damn, I had a good question, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Fuck.
my bad.
No, it's my fault for not saying anything. That's okay. I didn't forget. Move on to the next post. This woman early voted for Zohan Mondani, and she's happy that an old lady called her pretty. But I really just wanted to focus on the responses to this. And I think that this is the reality of the situation. All of the people dressing up in red hoods, even in Portland, getting the attention for the Twitterverse. What they're actually arguing for is the image on the right. That's what it will become. So
and honestly, if it comes down to that path, if I'm still alive somehow, I mean, I'm gonna do. We told you so. So
I mean, hey, on the bright side, they'll be back at home taking care of the kids.
oh man, I don't even want to begin to think how that.
Bro, I'm telling you that this is the play. This is what I'm thinking the play is going to end up being. Islam is going to be pushed to take over Christianity in the U.S., and it's going to be this route to do it. White women will pave the way.
Yep. Pseudocidal empathy, Asmongold says it best. So in that regard, for that subject anyway, but yeah.
Since we're talking about women, and we're terrible people talking about women. We're not. We're really good people. Brewer's amazing. Brewer has one of the kindest hearts.
I try anyway. I didn't always, but I definitely try.
Well, I'm happy with the person that you are, so.
I appreciate it.
So this is what's her name? Posted originally by the Charlie Kirk channel. This is a lady, I can't remember. It's Kristen Hawkins. Kristen Hawkins goes to I think it was a college campus, and she's having an engagement with this person. And this person says that late-term abortions aren't allowed. So it's a 44-second video. We're going to play it quick.
I just turned 32 weeks pregnant.
So what she did was, this girl asked the question, and Kristen Hawkins immediately called a local abortion center.
Am I able to come in for an abortion ASAP?
I wouldn't be able to see you for the week of the 23rd, so that would put you at 34 weeks.
Can I still have an abortion at 34 weeks?
Yes, ma'am. I just have to do an intake form. Do you have about 5 minutes?
Sure, I have 5 minutes. Yeah, I just found out that she could have Down syndrome. I can still have the abortion, right, even though she has Down syndrome?
Yeah, so we just have to do an intake because the doctor...
It doesn't matter.
That's late-term abortion.
Fucking clown, dude. I'm sorry. That's owned on the spot.
And I'm guessing the woman who started screaming at her was because you can't do late-term abortions or whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That's not real. Even though last week we posted we shared the video of what a 34-week-old looks like, even surviving outside the mother. But yeah, this there you go. This lined up perfectly with last week's intent.
Yeah, that's just sorry.
This is not her, but this lady right here encapsulates the same mindset that all of these other terrible examples that we've been presenting today are for women. But however, I'm not going to sit here and just knock all women. because there are good ones. And as I think as whenever you were sharing your, your intent for the future, all of the good ones are already taken, at least for the most part.
Yeah.
Even myself as an older person right now, like I still come with some kind of baggage. I mean, not much, right? I've forgotten most of it, but women tend to hold on to shit. And so I'll just, if you've ever been in a relationship and you've done something wrong, your wife will use that against you, or your partner will use that against you forever. Even if you talk about it, even if it's, oh, don't say that, it hurts my feelings, they will still use it when it can sting the most. It's just what they do.
I mean, with my relationships that I've had throughout my life, that is absolutely the case.
So there's some relationship advice, for more, leave a like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
But then you sent this one.
Yeah, I saw this like shortly before we even did this today, and
so
yeah, I mean, just play the video and then we'll talk about it from there.
Okay.
I guess one quick preference. I don't know how true this is. I haven't been able to research it.
So you're not, we're not validating the percentage, but we're just engaging with the idea because it does happen.
Correct.
Okay.
Percent of Gen Z is missing.
Hey, so did you know that about a third of our generation is missing?
Okay, so the framing of that is disingenuous. Missing doesn't
missing
missing
versus yeah. That's what you're saying.
The framing of it is, and I think that it's intentional because it's meant to. If you see that, if you just come in and say, pro-life, don't do abortion. This is trying to find another way to kind of hook into that argument. Even though I don't disagree with it, I can still understand it.
Yep. Makes sense.
From about 1977 to 2020, there was roughly an estimated 26 million human beings that were aborted. Can we think of another time in history where we took the lives of millions and millions of people, but we called it healthcare? And human rights? True healthcare, true human rights don't eradicate 28% of a generation. That's what genocide is. That's what eugenics is. I think it's time that we start calling abortion for what it truly is. That we mourn the lives of the innocent human beings that never got the chance to grow up like you and I. And I think it's time that we begin to boldly proclaim that we no longer want any more innocent human beings in our generation to be erased.
So I said initially, whenever we added this video, I was going to take the other side of it. I'm going to argue for abortion and the reduction of 28% of the population, or 23% of the population, even though I don't necessarily believe it or that it's a good thing. I'm still going to argue. I'm going to put forth the idea, or the stance that it is needed to happen because the reduction of, the improvements of technology continually to remove the amount of jobs. And if you continually reproduce, there are at some point finite resources available for people to live at a certain threshold. Let's start there.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's you ever see the show Sliders from early 2000s, late 90s, 2000s?
I very vaguely remember seeing it.
10-second synopsis. Super genius kid, high school, creates a device that allows you to travel interdimensionally. People get roped into it. Basically, he has to try to leave early because it's timed for it to return back to the base reality. But if he forces it, it begins a randomization sequence where he begins to have to jump to random realities. One of the random realities that his little group ends up going to is a society, or a world society, that basically all exists beside the United States, with pockets here and there. There's no more than 500,000 people on the planet. And it actually creates a thing because they viewed that reality that there's finite resources and we will eat them up before the natural conclusion of the solar system. And so they actually have suicide times where people can choose to die, and it is celebrated. So it's
Sounds
kind
like
of
Canada.
yeah, I mean, I was gonna, kind of allude to that. It kind of sounds like a certain country to the north that we call our hat. So it's it's interesting because that framework actually does have a decent basis to it. I'm not saying I agree with
It
it,
ha-
but within the
it
framework,
has a pragmatic basis because there's a logical component to it.
correct. And but I mean, it it depends on your ethical framework. I mean, there's so many things that you can say for or against what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not necessarily going to take an argument against it or for it because it is an argument. And how do I say this? Um, because it's in a way it's true. It's in a way it's right. Um, there's this, of course, you have Elon Musk who was talking about population collapse and the fact that the current young generation, there's not going to be enough of them to take care of us when we get old, which is reality. So it becomes a point where do we force the younger generation to sacrifice so much of themselves in order to take care of the older generation? Or does the older generation need to sacrifice themselves in whatever form that entails to allow the next generations to prosper? So right now you have this dichotomy between who should be taken care of and who has priority. And if you really want to dive into it, you have the boomers right now that predominantly just don't give a shit because, and they have majority of the wealth in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them aren't passing it down. So because they have that mentality of I worked for it, I deserve it all, which again is within the framework, makes sense. But at the same time, you're not allowing the generational wealth to continue down so your descendants can be better off and have a better way of life. But instead, you're choosing to force them into a significantly more difficult life, which again, there's the side that brings that, that will give them character and they will be more, fruitful and so on and so forth, which, is a valid argument. But at the
Earlier,
same time, you're needlessly making lives more difficult. So, I mean, I'm not saying which side of the argument I would be on, but that's just two sides of that
I
argument.
think I know what side of the argument you're on just because I can reference earlier in the conversation today when you said everyone needs a little bit of trauma.
Well, no, that's conflating two things.
Okay.
That was more of a mental, like in order to be mentally strong, you need to have a foundation that you can lean on for dealing with problems.
Do you think
That
generational?
versus,
Sorry,
well, it's I see what you're trying to say with it,
because like
but
you
it's
see where
not.
you get like nepotism and the spoiled brats, and like they don't really do anything with that wealth anyways.
Yeah, that was one of the other side of the argument that I was eventually going to get to.
I'm sorry.
But it's no, you're fine. You're fine. I know I'm long-winded sometimes. So it's like, yeah, but that, like, I just go right to it. That's the other side, is the nepotism and the fact that you have the spoiled brats. The problem is because that is what the culture is allowing. So it's still the family's responsibility ultimately to raise the child right. So, but the kind of alluding back to what you were talking about before with the economic situation, even the Rockefeller thing, where everything has been, eroded, the family system has been eroded. So if we were to allow, or sorry, not allow, if we were to have a culture where the generational wealth was passed down and we had a strong culture of family, based um, upbringings, I suspect it is within my personal belief that nepotism and these spoiled brats would still exist, but to a significantly less degree. And when you're speaking to those who have this generational wealth, because it would be within the culture for the parents to actually raise their children and
Mm-hmm.
not be forced into the public school systems, because that is the Rockefeller design, to force families to separate for a majority of their lives, especially when they're young, to be able to program them to consume, to make more money, and to control and to allow more of these governmental and higher level institutions control over everything. So it basically they're just holding on to their power.
Well, I mean, we
But
can look at the truth of that and how that was applied for all of the just strange, perverse stuff being introduced into public schools for kids.
yeah,
I mean, that fits
oh
perfectly in
yeah,
that framework.
yeah, exactly. And that has been the whole thing. I mean, I'm not going to say that, Rockefeller had this 200-year plan that is, they're doing step by step by step. I mean, that obviously could be a fact, but it was a overall ideology and overall idea that he introduced, or him and his ilk, I'll just say, introduced and are continuing. And of course, it adjusts with the culture and the way that, everything is being seen. But if we were to return to a time where everything was family focused first, I suspect that a lot of the problems we would have in this country, from regardless of the ethnicity, regardless of where you were from, there would be a greater amount of wealth that was more evenly distributed, because people would actually work for what they needed to do. And even if it was through generational wealth, that a lot of these people, get their money and everything else, as long as they were taught the proper work ethic, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You will succeed.
Yeah,
Maybe
work
not
ethic
to the
is.
same degree as somebody else. You won't ever have
But
true
you'll
equality.
live a damn good life, and I guess
Exactly.
it depends on where your definition of success is.
Exactly. And that again goes back to culture and the fact that the view of success has been tainted and controlled by, Hollywood and everything else. So people now think that in order to succeed, I have to have more than you. That's how some people view success, which is completely wrong. And I don't care what framework you try to come with me. That in my I will never agree to that. Success is doing what you think is best for you and able to continue to do what you think is best for you. As long and if you some people think it's okay to trample on others to get there. I don't, but I mean,
Hmm.
so
Interesting.
but yeah, I will never accept trampling over somebody else to get higher, which I mean, it's kind of the way the society is right now. And you may not have a choice. I get that depending on your perspective. But a
Okay.
lot of the arguments being made about nepotism and everything else is just because of the current culture. But if the culture was changed, which is naive right now, but anyways,
Well,
utopia
I'm
type shit.
naive. I'm naive. But yeah, so I know that we mentioned the next generation or the younger generation. This is I saw this. I think I saw this morning. This is Asmongold reacting to, I think, as a woman talking to her child, and she's just, oh, sorry, it's a girl asking her little brother if he believes both men and women should be drafted into World War III. So let's look at that real quick. Whoops. Whoops.
You scroll down, so you got a refresh page.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
The hell? Okay.
Believes both men and women should be drafted in World War III.
Should men and women both be drafted in the war if there's a World War III that happens?
No?
I guess.
You think both should be drafted? Drafted means like you have to go.
I know what drafted is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, equality, I guess, so.
So you think they should like just drop off a form at everybody's door and be like, if your kid's over 18, they have to go to war?
They wanted this, though.
Who did?
The women.
No.
Little kid's not wrong. And this is the youngest. I'm assuming the youngest generation. This is probably an alpha.
Yeah, this would be mid alpha, I would say.
So yeah, give it 20 years, feminists. This is going to be a well-educated child if things don't change.
Oh, keep playing. I know where this is going. I haven't seen this, so I think I know where this is going.
Okay.
Equal rights. If somebody can vote, they can vote. If someone goes to war, which is hard, someone goes forward.
Yeah, but men are bigger, so then they're like
So now you're being sexist.
What? No.
So like in theory you're right, but in theory it could also be wrong. You're a sexist girl.
Okay.
So I'm right.
What's Aspen's reaction?
Oh man, this is what we got coming up, boys.
Fucking called it.
Yeah. This is exactly what's coming up. This is what's going to happen. The problem is that women are getting exactly what they asked for, and they didn't realize what they were asking for.
Maybe we
They were
shouldn't.
manipulated,
Maybe
so.
we shouldn't let women be in charge then. Sorry, that's a really good argument for it.
Well, I mean, the fact that, well, that is a probably one of the best, if not honestly the best example I have seen of how women don't want equality. They want superiority. They want to tell the men what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and do it for them.
They want to be men.
And,
They want to be men.
but more so.
Yeah.
Be able to control men.
Yeah.
On top of it, men don't seek control of women,
That's
regardless of what the feminists are saying. Men seek to protect women. Whether or not it's a misguided way of doing it, the ultimate goal is for a man is to protect himself, his family, his wife, his children, and not in that order.
I believe it's instinctual. Yeah, on some level. Yeah.
So
the order in which you have those matters, though.
Yes, that I purposely said them out of order because I don't want to allude to one as superior than the other. Whether or not you agree or disagree with whatever that order is. Anyways.
Oh no, I was just acknowledging that you can have a different order, but whenever you change the order of those things, your priorities change as well. So your behavior changes.
Exactly.
Which means your voting pattern changes, which means how you perceive the world changes. Which means the information that you consume changes.
Yeah, but to the main point is the fact that the sister is obviously trying to say that basically even he said it straight up, the kid, you're being sexist because now it's the ironic thing is that the script is being flipped in real time now. So when a woman comes out and says that, women shouldn't be drafted because men are bigger, they're the ones who should go to war. I go, well, you wanted to vote, you wanted to have a credit card, you wanted to be able to do everything that a man can do.
You want to have
congratulations.
No, it's not just that. Let's get clear with that. It's you want the power, and you have the power to send men to war, but you don't want to go yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what I said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just they don't want to actually pay the consequences for their action.
They want the levers of power without actually having to do the work that made those things great.
Correct.
Because and that's
the
why
feminists
specifically the feminists. Women are great. I love women. I love all women.
I don't, but I'm not afraid to say it.
I try to love all women. Sometimes they're just too much to love.
No, I don't. I'm not even hiding it anymore. I'm not sexist, but I don't see all women as the same. So
I don't either. Like my perception has changed, but I do think that I'm definitely queuing in. Like even just doing this podcast and relating with people that I normally would on a part of my daily life, right? People that know me at the grocery store, stuff like that. Like I'm understanding people on a different level from starting to do this, I think, and it's a good thing. But I also it feels like I'm putting boundaries and barriers up by acknowledging some of the real stuff that's going on. And I don't like having to do that.
Well, you have to. It's a self-preservation. I mean, if you don't have boundaries, if you don't learn to say no, I'm not saying you don't, but just in general, you are going to be walked over.
Well,
you're going to be manipulated. You are going to be controlled.
I have a hard time saying no. That's why I'm very picky about asking people for stuff. That's why I generally don't ask for stuff.
Yeah, I used to be the same way, which kind of led to that situation that I've talked about kind of multiple times. But but in general, I have learned to say no. I have learned to, put up the boundaries, saying if you cross this boundary, it's done. Because if you don't do that, like I just said, talking in circles a bit, you will lose a great deal amount of work and effort that you put into it because people will just come and take it. So you have to defend your positions, you have to defend yourself, and you have to be able to articulate what you want and what those boundaries are. So
Yeah, boundaries in a
you'll be a
relationship.
happier person for it.
Yeah, no,
So,
yeah, even you're right. Boundaries in a relationship are really important, and actually following through with that. And you have to follow through, because if you don't, and you don't follow through one time, yep, damn it. All right, well,
yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's honestly something that I've learned very recently. So I'm not sitting here and telling you that this is my whole life, that I know exactly and everything. I know the answer to everything. I absolutely fucking do not.
don't lie.
But
You do too.
if you say so.
Okay.
But anywho.
All right. So if you're in a relationship and you have kids, you know, nothing really makes it worse whenever kids just keep throwing their food on the ground. And, you know, this is just, here's an example of something, a way that you can handle a situation like this. So the text on the screen says, next one that makes a mess is going to get a spanking. So if you're just listening in, you have the man talking to a little boy on the left, and a little girl on the right. They're in like this little island kitchen area, and then the wife is in the back doing the dishes.
Woman makes a mess, so I'm gonna get
And as we can clearly see, the wife just takes the dishes and throws them on the ground. Just throws them on the ground, and then she is, you know, I can respect her for, you know, immediately moving to accept her punishment. And this is, I think, that how you should actually run your household. This is a properly functioning example, I think. What do you think, Brewer?
Play the rest of it. It's like a little second. I just want to make sure. So. Honestly, this is a skit.
I know.
But
it's funny.
Well.
Okay. That even if it's a skit, you should totally do this, because this is something that could be fun in a relationship.
Well, I'm actually I was going to take it from a more parenting approach.
Okay.
If you can't hold, the mom and dad can't hold each other accountable, a child's going to pick up on that.
That's true.
So she intentionally did it to kind of make a point that everyone needs to be held accountable for themselves. So this could act like might actually, quote, is a skit, but they are doing it to try to instill some kind of doctrine into their children.
I don't think that's the case. Okay, so.
But I'm just saying that
I love
is
that.
a possibility.
Yeah, no, we're going to go with that take, because definitely what is not happening is what happens after, because the kids are just going to hear mom getting spanked, and as she should be. I mean, you don't throw stuff on the ground, right? Clearly, you should teach the kids that if, you know, mom can be held accountable, so can you. Absolutely.
So that's how I would have taken this. But of course, you could go the other route, that they're doing something else in there, and that was an excuse for, you know, mom and dad to disappear for a short period of time.
Because when do parents get to do that, right?
Exactly.
And I mean, how much better of a cover do you need to make some noise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so I mean, yeah, that's the humorous aspect. But I mean, honestly, that would probably be something. I mean, what I was talking about is probably something that I would do if I ever had kids.
You'd stage stuff like that just to teach them lessons.
Correct.
That's so you.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you should write down those things that you would do, and we could market those as like parenting books.
Oh God, dude, that would probably be the worst thing to. I mean, yeah, if they were to work, fine, but I don't have any kids. It's like it's like a wine mom yelling at kids they shouldn't be acting that way, but she never actually raised any herself. It's the exact same thing. So, but then again, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Right, so that kind of wraps up that section, just about women. We got into some interesting areas, and I definitely don't take any of it super seriously. We're just trying to be lighthearted. You know, unlike Brewer, I am super misogynistic. I'm totally kidding. I'm not. I love women. I'm actually probably the biggest simp out of the two of us, not going to lie.
Probably, honestly.
Probably.
No offense, but
it's true. Like, I mean, like I'm very easy to be manipulated, and that's why I'm very careful with who I allow around me. Because I'm too trusting.
I used to be.
I'm too trusting. And I would rather be too trusting and then just like slowly build out the people. Like, it's easier that way. So
I would disagree, but
it's okay. It's a way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's not the easier one. So
Yeah.
be sure to follow and subscribe.